Hello, it's Ricardo and welcome back to Elite Dangerous. Well, it is Monday the 16th of October 2023, which means Update 17 is currently in progress. And when I say in progress, the servers are currently down. Frontier Developments have released the Update 17 patch notes, so let's see what's in and what's not. And as always, let's go through the patch notes with my thoughts. So just after 8 AM British summertime, Frontier Developments have released the patch notes, and it's quite encouraging as they start off as by saying, we remain on schedule with availability of the update targeting 1500 hours or 3 PM British summertime this afternoon, that being today the 16th of the 10th 2023, as per the schedule that was released last Friday. And as I skim through the notes, the first line that hits me of the features of note, it says, the rumbling got quiet, and then much, much louder. Now this can only address the fact that there's something going on the Barnacle sites. This is quite interesting. We knew this was coming. It's not a surprise to us, but I think anticipation is going to be really high. So, what's new and what's fixed in Elite Dangerous Update 17? Let's get into those patch notes. So in the community issues of notes address section, this is the part where, problems or issues have been reported to their update forum, really, so to speak. And there's usually issue IDs along all of these. Things of note is that a toggle has now been put in for aim assist, and that can be located in options, controls, on-foot controls, and on-foot miscellaneous aim assist toggle. So if you're a commander who wants to have a little bit of aim assist and assistance, or if you don't and you want to turn it off, that's where you find it. Options, controls, on-foot miscellaneous, and aim assist toggle. It then goes through and has a look at several graphical issues that can be fixed, to be perfectly honest. One around the Crate Mark II. There's also an update for the journal not correctly logging ship repair costs, and items at surface points of interest no longer get erroneously duplicated when a transport mission has been retrieved. Okay. Owned e-breaches are no longer automatically added to the player backpacks when disembarking at ship locations that consider them illegal. I always like to say, well, I've put them in there, I'll have them, and I'll take that risk. But I suppose it's going back to think how it used to be, whereas you have to put those e-breaches back in your backpack. So for your commanders who are going out hacking devices and whatnot, be careful. If you want to go and hack, make sure you've got them with you. Or if you want to be a bit more cautious, make sure you haven't. Ship pips revert back to the original player values if they have been altered when ship AI temporarily takes control. And that's all down to, I imagine, auto-docking / auto-landing. They've also improved the wear and tear materials seen on the Diamondback Explorer survey ship kit, and they've fixed for planets for not being visible while travelling with FSD engaged. Interesting, I haven't seen that. The fix for planets not being visible while travelling with FSD engaged. Interesting stuff. Missions to restore power to settlements in Thargoid control systems now properly fail if you lose the item due to getting killed whilst on foot, and that's usually a good option, and it's great to see the game working as intended. So next up is going to be the additional note sections, and this goes on about locations and environments, missions, AI and enemies, ships, suits and modules, fleet carriers, the user interface, journals and graphics. And this is quite lengthy, so we're going to try and get through it, so get a cup of tea and a biscuit, because there's some good stuff in here. First up, of note, right? The damage of the Revenant's main weapon has been reduced. Brilliant. Additional information of interest on this is, aside from a minor reduction in damage, weapon damage now begins to reduce at 50 meters rather than 100 meters. So, they're more of a short-range, funky dude, if you know what I mean. An issue has been fixed where the sound of the Titan membrane spawning ship sounds would not match the visuals. I can't say I really noticed that, to be perfectly honest with you, because it's always full of a bit of angst and anticipation when you're around the Titans, hiding from whatnot. Memory usage of the Titan scenario audio has been optimized. good. Anything that can make the game a little bit more stable is fantastic. And they fixed an issue where planetary delay was not being calculated when a commander is not in ship. The issue has been fixed where some consoles in settlements would not switch off their emissive materials when the settlement was in an offline state. Okay, what's all that about? Don't forget to turn your big light off during our part for the... Okay, doing the part... Right, okay, so what's happening is you turn the power off at a settlement. Brilliant. And then the monitors are still on. And they joke and quip, don't forget to turn your big light off. Doing our part for the future of planets. Haha, little bit of ESG in there, folks, a little bit of ESG. A defense turret, seen at some Horizon settlements has a working explosion particle effect. Okay, a minor adjustment has been made to small landing pad surrounds, a spelling mistake has been fixed. At the beach, the ground no longer protrudes through one of the SRV garages. Okay, I've seen that. I was there recently. I thought, hang on a minute, there's a big load of boulders through there. One of the structures seen at a Guardian site now has the correct collision boundary representative of the structure, and asteroids around the Titan are now sufficiently far apart and no longer intersect one another. That's good stuff. So a few little hacks and twists and fixes there on locations and environments, a little bit of a tidy up, you could say. So there seems to be an awful lot to be packed in, and glancing through the notes, in about a 3 gigabyte update that's being put out today. So far, so good. Going on to missions now. Evacuation missions for VIPs no longer asked to be placed in an invalid cabin type, which is good stuff, and infiltration missions are no longer able to appear in both operations and support categories. Missions to restore power to settlements in Thargoid-controlled systems now have more varied text to help better distinguish the different variants. Okay, I say that again. Missions to restore power to settlements in Thargoid-controlled systems now have more varied text to help better distinguish the different variants. And commanders on distinct settlement reboot missions can no longer share the same settlement instance. Now, there is something with the previous message that I'm going to put up on the screen. Now, the line of these particular item has got different colours for different letters. You can see I've just highlighted this on the screen. It all spells the words, as I'm sure you've worked out by now, it's coming. What's coming? Well, we just don't know. Obviously, something's coming. And we'll probably break that down as things evolve. Next up is going to be AI and enemies. So these fixes within Update 17 are going to be around tweaks to AI and enemies, optimised memory usage for Thargoid Glaive audio, Thargoid Titan audio, fixed an issue where Thargoid Revenant weapon fire audio was not always audible. How many times you can say audio or audible there? I reckon. Very, very strange. But they've fixed the pew-pews, to be perfectly honest with you. Thargoid Revenant beam weapon audio, rebalanced. Fixed an issue where Revenants would only vocalise once coming into range. There you go. Fixed an issue where Revenant grenade explosions would be inaudible. Okay, so there you go. You need to hear when those weapons are coming at you. Dropping into the Maelstrom cloud from Super Cruise no longer carries the risk of Thargoid Scout appearing just in front of your ship. I didn't have that. In fact, they were suspiciously vacant when I would drop into the Maelstrom. Bounties acquired by previously clean players at settlements can now be detected via scans by local NPCs. Auto-landing ships visiting Farseer Inc. can now reliably avoid the large tower. Really good stuff. Skimmer movement is now better synchronized. Hostile ships must now attack the player's ship to cause auto-landing to be disabled. And breach weapon damage will no longer be partially applied to unexposed Thargoid hearts. Okay. Shows ships, suits and modules. Now this always needs a little bit of love, and there's quite a few fixes. The right hard point on the Federation Corvette from clipping through the model as it's animated has been fixed. Good stuff. Adjustments to the Anaconda have been made, including fixing stretch textures on the back of the ship. Good, because that's a decent ship and it's been around for yonks. It's a big word, isn't it? Yonks. But it needs to have been fixed. Fix an issue with slipstream paint job on the Viper, improve gradient smoothness for a number of ship paint jobs, and fix a decal on the underside of the Third Lance. They've corrected some issues with some material artifacts, again on the Anaconda. The paint job UV mapping, part of the Eagle, and the paint job UV mapping as part of the Orca. The hard points of a landed ship no longer appeal to toggle on-off when a second player observes the first player disembarking into a planet's surface. Not add that one. And commanders are now able to pick up previously dropped E-breaches. Just wipe a tissue over them first, is what they say. Very important to sanitize. Owned E-breaches are no longer automatically added to a player backpack, as it's been mentioned in the items of note when disembarking ships at locations that consider them illegal. Now, on to fleet carriers. Not mature really, other than changing the fleet carrier internal layout by removing modules such as the shop, the bar, Vista Genomics. Layouts no longer takes effect after the carrier hyperspace jumps, so they're probably ready. It's still necessary to relog or jump away and back in another ship before the layout changes. Okay, let's go on to the user interface, and this is usually quite dry when you consider what's going on with the user interfaces. So, through all of this, there's been a theme of the Thargoid singing. As I read through the notes, singing happy birthday, singing this, now they sing, now they do this. Are the Thargoids attempting to celebrate something? Anyway, it's all about the AI, and it's this particular instance, it's the Thargoid singing, spoiler, right, was redacted, and it says a spoiler. So what's this all about, right? So, and it's been a few tweaks here in regards to the audio. So is the audio more important now in regards to the Thargoids as what it has been on previous updates? They seem to have fixed quite a few of them. Okay, here we go. But then again, they do say it's not really the Thargoids singing. So as people read through the patch notes, people are saying, well, what's going on? What sort of humour is this? Let's get on with what's actually in this update and what isn't. So, the user interface, and I will elaborate as we get through it. Right then, so change the audio soundscape of the main menu. Okay, it's the Thargoid singing. Spoiler. Really? AX remote flak musicians text shown when synthesizing ammo is now localized. Okay, brilliant. Engineers no longer display unresolved log entries. Players now receive an appropriate message when invites go out to an already full multi-crew. Fixed instances where station news text could be displayed the word colon instead of the word news. Okay, looking through this, the UI interface changes. Nothing really strikes me as being worthy of note, to be fair, other than they've fixed quite a few things that were broken. And when I say broken, in regards to the UI interface, I think we all just generally get on with it. But then going on to other things more importantly, for example, graphics. Fixed dark artifacts, fixed visible seam on asteroid bases, Titan turret trails now appeal on low graphics settings. Good for those commanders who are playing on perhaps say an older laptop or older PC. And they fixed NPC characters' eyes being not correctly lit on low-end graphics cards and low-end settings. Should have gone to Specsavers. Now here's the thing, right? There's no mention of the barnacle sights here, and we know that's going to be a thing simply because we've seen the video that was released. There's a few gotchas in here. The rumbling got quieter and then much louder, and there seems to be a definite emphasis around the audio. This looks like to be a very sort of Thargoid heavy update inside the game that might please some players. It may not. That message that says it's coming in the mission section, well, what's all that about? We're going to find out. I've been Ricardo. Thanks very much for watching this video on the patch notes of update 17. Here we go.